Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
It's been about 6 years since Lindsey Buckingham was fired from Fleetwood Mac, yet drummer Mick Fleetwood is still holding out hope that Buckingham and lead singer Stevie Nicks can bury the hatchet. The co-founder of the band made a point of sharing that a peaceful resolution between the two former bandmates and lovers doesn't necessarily have to involve the reformation of Fleetwood Mac. It's no secret, it's no tattle that there is a brick wall there emotionally, the British musician, 77, told Mojo of Buckingham and Nicks' rocky relationship that spans back to the 1960s. He added, "Stevie's able to speak clearly about how she feels and doesn't feel, as does Lindsey. But I'll say, personally, I would love to see a healing between them, and that doesn't have to take the shape of a tour, necessarily." His comments came shortly after Nicks', 76, own interview with Mojo about the future of the iconic rock band, which she believes ended for good with the tragic passing of keyboardist, vocalist and songwriter Christine McVie in November 2022. Nicks let it be known she doesn't see a future for Fleetwood Mac following the death of McVie, no matter if Buckingham was involved or not. "Without Christine, no can do," the lead vocalist said. "There is no chance of putting Fleetwood Mac back together in any way. Without her, it just couldn't work." The landslide singer also brought up Buckingham's health concerns as another reason the band won't be getting back together. "Even if I thought I could work with Lindsey again, he's had some health problems," she explained, while referring to Buckingham's emergency open heart surgery in 2019. "It's not for me to say, but I'm not sure if Lindsey could do the kind of touring that Fleetwood Mac does, where you go out for a year and a half. It's so demanding." Before her death from a stroke at the age of 79, McVie admitted to Rolling Stone that she felt the band kind of broke up after their last tour wrapped up in 2019, a year after Buckingham's firing. "It's impossible to say. We might get back together, but I just couldn't say for sure," McVie said at the time, before adding that Fleetwood Mac no longer exists as we know it. While Mick Fleetwood co-founded Fleetwood Mac in 1967, it was the joint editions of Buckingham and Nicks that helped finalize what would be known as the classic lineup that also featured McVie and her ex-husband John McVie. In fact, it was Buckingham who insisted that he and Nicks, who were a folk rock duo at the time, both joined the band by offering up an ultimatum in December 1974 after the departure of Bob Welch. The eventual additions of Buckingham and Nicks changed the band's bluesy sound by giving some more pop sensibilities to their self-titled first studio album together, that technically was the band's 10th. The results of the new members was impactful, as the record shot to number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, on the heels of top 20 hits Over My Head, Rhiannon, and Say You Love Me. As the band relished in their newfound success, they would see their stardom soar with the release of their follow-up studio album, Rumours. It became the band's first number 1 album on the UK Albums Chart, while also topping the US Billboard 200. On the heels of the singles Go Your Own Way, Dreams, Don't Stop and You Make Loving Fun, Rumours went on to win Album of the Year at the 20th Annual Grammy Awards in 1978. Some 45 years since its release, it now considered among the greatest albums of all time, ultimately selling more than 40 million copies worldwide. Nicks and Buckingham met as high school seniors in Palo Alto, California, and then started dating back in the early 1970s. The lovers quickly teamed up as the folk rock duo dubbed Buckingham Nicks and released an eponymous album in late 1973. Sadly, the record flopped, and as a result, their label dropped them, according to Distractify. By late 1974, the remaining 3 Fleetwood Mac members caught Buckingham in a studio and were so impressed they offered him to join the band. Despite the fact that he and Nicks' band was over at that point, the guitarist and singer insisted he and Nicks were a package deal. The classic lineup would ultimately release 5 albums, with the last being Tango in the Night, 1987, before Buckingham left the band to pursue a solo career. He ended up rejoining Fleetwood Mac in 1997 and stayed.